We got a sea lion here on Horacio's fish, and Tino's saying just pull, but it seems like he just jumped on it again. Man, he had it away from him for a split second. He's got it away again. Here we go, straight wind as fast as he can.
We're close. We're close. This is it right here.
Oh, there we are.
Where we go? Oh, we got nothing but head back.
Let's see what we got here, Thomas. Let's see.
Just head.
Woof, woof. The dog is tearing it up on this trip. Mad Dog, killing it. Wow, we just had two other fish. Maui got bit and Dan got bit, and the dog is on another. What's going on here, Thomas? Looks like Eric's on.
Yes, sir.
Sundown bite continues here on the Amigo. Get him, Eric. What are you fishing, man? How heavy?
30.
30 pound. Good job, man. Choosing a good hot bait makes all the difference in the world.
Hot bait, blacktail hooks.
This is the biggest giveaway we've ever had. How about that Macaira 16 paired with a beautiful UC rail rod custom wrap by Z Custom Rods. We're going to pair those two items. That's worth over $1,500 for the first prize. We also have a rain shadow rail rod, which is absolutely beautiful. Tuna riot poppers and so much more. Contact Joe Zimmer at 310-918-1448. You can Venmo, you can Zelle, you can win. It's going to be a beautiful night, October the 13th, on Tackle Shop Confessions, when we're going to give all of that away. Make sure you get on board. Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the Taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And if you have a leaky roof, then go visit my dear friend Brett at pelicanroofsocal.com. They'll get out, get you fixed up so you can get out and catch some more fish on your next adventure. pelicanroofsocal.com.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. With Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Man, I'll tell you, it feels more like summer today than it has at any point in time in the year. It's sunny, it's warm, it's gorgeous out. And man, do we have a lot of sport fishing to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about Tropical Storm Priscilla and the effects that it could have on Southern California sport fishing. Could be really, really good. We're going to talk about our yellowfin tuna. We're going to cover what's going on down in beautiful Ensenada, Baja, California. There's some really good local fishing, including halibut and yellowtail. That's starting to come together. Sometimes in the fall, that bite will really manifest itself. The water this morning and the surf is still pretty darn warm for this time of the year. I'm thinking, 67 degrees, something like that. That's really good. Also, and of course, we'll look at the islands, our local bluefin, and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. You're not going to believe this, but I think that accident on the freeway has affected my memory because I had my hot cup of coffee all ready to go. It's going to have to be kind of a fictitious toast here this morning with my coffee cup awaiting me up there in the house right now. It is absolutely beautiful. You don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting, deplorable, stinky little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content available for you all. And that is all the time here on Freedman Adventures, including hot fishing, tours through tackle stores, and a whole lot of other stuff, including trips that we put together sometimes at the last minute. I need to put together a lobster trip because last night we did Lobster Chronicles again, our live show from 22nd Street Landing with Promar, and we had such a great time with Brian Sanchez and Rene De Leon, who's a great guy, and the dog, of course, there to support and do such a great job behind the scenes. Really a great show, all about lobster hoop netting. And next Wednesday's show is going to be fantastic because we're going to all get together to do Lobster Chronicles again. But this time, we're going to do some lobster recipes in studio for you all. A couple of guys won the opportunity last night to come in and partake of that great feast. There's going to be lobster poke, there's going to be lobster burritos, there's going to be all kinds of other surprises. We'll show you how to make it. We'll talk lobster hoop netting. It's going to be a great show. That's going to be next Wednesday at 5:30 again, live at 22nd Street Landing. Good morning, my friend. So really good stuff for next Wednesday live as the dogs are having way too much fun here. Anthony, are you getting jealous? Look at these dogs, man, enjoying themselves in this beautiful, pristine day here in Southern California. It is absolutely gorgeous, as you can see for yourselves. All right, let's talk about Tropical Storm Priscilla. It was once a hurricane, been downgraded now to a tropical storm, making its way offshore up the Baja Peninsula. It could conceivably flush more warm water up the Baja Peninsula. Many people believe that when you have a hurricane or a tropical storm in this case, it pushes warm water, and along with it, all the yellowfin and dorado and all those other species. Only time will tell. We'll see how that all works out. Doesn't seem like it's going to make landfall anywhere, but there still will be some heavy seas, big swells, that kind of thing along the Baja Peninsula in southern Baja, California. We'll keep our eyes on that and see how it all goes. All right, down there in Ensenada, I'm telling you, this full moon is having very little effect in some zones on the bluefin tuna. Yesterday at Amara Sport Fishing, they were out of Ensenada, and they had a couple of bluefin and 6 yellowfin tuna. Other operations in Baja are doing equally as well. You look over there, our friends at Blackfin Sport Fishing, they're doing fantastic down there. Little Horse Sport Fishing doing really, really good. You can pick almost any operation out of Ensenada now, and it's going to be a quality, great experience. The guys fish hard. They put on a great feast for you upon your return. And the fishing right now is darn good, no question about it. If you don't want to go offshore, there's some yellows around the coast and at Santo Tomas to the south, around Todos Santos Islands, just outside of beautiful Ensenada. And even closer to the coast, you throw rapalas offshore, just not very far, maybe a mile, maybe not even that far off the Hotel Corral, and you can come up with some pretty darn good fishing in that area. Really liking what we're seeing down south. That bite continues. It's October, for God's sakes. This might even bleed into November if we can stay away from any Arctic-based storms. Man, I'm telling you, this has all the potential to keep going and going and going. Let's talk about our offshore fishing. First of all, the boats that come out of San Diego and hang a left. That means they're going down looking for that mixed yellowfin tuna and bluefin tuna, yellowtail on kelp patties. There's some good scores, and then there's some real misses, no doubt about it. The Polaris Supreme was out on a 5-day trip and had limits of those mostly smaller, and I mean very small, kelp patty yellowtail. 5-day trip, they ended up with 19 bluefin in addition to that, and 57 yellowfin tuna. That's a pretty tough trip, if you ask me. So once again, sometimes that YFT bites, sometimes it doesn't. It is not a lack of fish that is really putting the kind of scores up that we are seeing there. There's a lot of fish around, which leads some to believe that maybe it is moon phase, and all that fish that they are seeing is finally going to settle in and bite. The Liberty out of San Diego yesterday, Fisherman's Landing, went down on an overnight trip and limited out on the bluefin tuna. Had 3 yellowfin tuna to go along with it. It's those kind of scores that we are seeing right now. Some guys will get on the right bunch of fish, it wants to bite, and they get a good shot in on it. Most of that yellowfin is like that 15 to 20 pound fish, some smaller than that. Let's call it on the bluefin and yellowfin 10 to 30 pound fish, with a few bigger fish kicked in there every once in a while. But for the most part, it's that grade, 10 to 30 pounds down there. There's a few Dorado on the kelps, not many. A little bit of skipjack, which indicates a tropical influence, warm water species moving in. And I don't think that we are over by a long shot. In fact, once we get through this moon phase, a couple days more perhaps, we'll see what is going to be in our future, because all that fish they're seeing, man, that light switch goes on. Look out. We're definitely sitting on a powder keg. Many of the boats up here in the LA Orange County area, as you saw by the lead-in, we were just out on board the Amigo on our trip, a 2-day trip. We had almost 60 bluefin. Steady plunker bite kind of fishing out there around Tanner Bank, and that is continuing. I saw some great guys back in on the Amigo last night after we did Lobster Chronicles, and they said not bad. We had 19 bluefin tuna. The 2 guys I talked to caught their limits of bluefin tuna, which is 2 fish. So on board the Amigo, 19 fish for 11 anglers, not bad at all. The Thunderbird was out yesterday out of Davies Locker and said, man, we had all kinds of opportunities, and it all came down to choosing a hot bait, changing that bait regularly, fishing 20 to 25 pound fluorocarbon, and a number 4 or 6 hook, a smaller hook. It came down to that because the Thunderbird had 36 bluefin tuna and a yellowtail on a day-and-a-half trip, but 5 of their anglers had 25 of the 36 bluefin tuna. They were doing what John Garma was doing on our trip. John is not only a dear friend, but an outstanding angler, and he shares his knowledge all the time. And he said, guys, change your bait. Butt hooked bait. Change it. Get it to swim away from the boat. Make sure you're fishing lighter line and a smaller hook. And when that bait doesn't work, wind it up and change it. And he says it's a numbers game. The more baits you throw, the more fish you're going to catch. Just keep doing it. It's hard work and it requires some patience, but just keep doing it and you'll have a score just like those guys. The Fibbers Christian Club was out on the pursuit. I got to see Charlie. Charlie, good morning to you, my dear friend. And it sounds like they had a pretty good day. I didn't get their final score, but I know it was up over 20 bluefin tuna, and they had some big lings and rockfish to go along with that. Always good to see some of the finest people on the face of the earth. The Fibbers Christian Fishing Club in Costa Mesa, California. They're such great people, and I'm so happy that they did well on their trip. And Jeff Lingle talking about great people. Jeff on his yacht down there at 140 miles or so was looking around. He said they had a south wind from that Tropical Storm Priscilla, which we already mentioned. He had 6 bluefin tuna. Not bad at all in the 35 to 60 pound class. Presently on the beach trying to get a white sea bass bite here this lovely Thursday morning. He said they're not biting, the sea bass. We got a halibut on board. We'll give this a little more time before we go off and look for some more yellowfin tuna and see if we can't get that to bite with the bluefin tuna and the Dorado. So Jeff doing really, really well. Hey everybody, Phil Freeman here with a weather update. Saturday looks like it is going to be very nasty out there where some of the bluefin tuna have been taken. I'm talking mostly about Tanner, Cortez Bank, backside of San Clemente Island and extending up into the northern region, also in the Channel Islands. It is going to be very, very windy starting Friday night. Really peaking on Saturday and then coming down, but still a little bit breezy on Sunday. Just want to keep you in touch with all the weather and so much more. Time to go back to the morning briefing. All right, let's get up here into SoCal and talk about what's going on at our islands. A little bit of Yellowtail at the Coronado Islands, not much. You know, a score of 5 is a good score right now. You get up into double digits and you really had a fantastic day. There's rockfish, sheephead, whitefish, deep water cod if you wanted to do that. Over here at San Clemente Island, it's really up and down. There's some yellows there. One day they'll bite, 2 days they won't bite. The calico bass bite has been on, then it's off. Even the rockfish sometimes are difficult, but at times it can be really good or really, really poor. Santa Catalina Island, same thing. You know, a little bit of everything, but not a lot of anything has been the rule there at Catalina. We see an occasional yellowtail, barracuda, okay calico bass fishing. Drop that fluorocarbon down to 12 pound when you're fishing calicos and you'll do really, really well. I'm telling you, that makes all the difference in the world. And again, that changing the bait is so important to your success. It means everything. 5 guys on the Thunderbird had 25 of the 36 fish. That says it all. And you can apply that same thing to fishing calicos or anything else. Keep that in mind. And then up in the Channel Islands, really great, really awesome rock fishing with a lot of nice big links up there in that neck of the woods. Island Tack up there out of Cisco's in Oxnard had limits of calico bass yesterday. That's darn good shooting. And they threw on a couple of white sea bass to go along with it. It's predominantly rockfish, but we do see some signal up there in the Aloha Spirit the other day. Had, I think, 17 halibut or something like that. So there's been those occasional scores. Up there, Avila Beach, Morro Bay, rockfish, rockfish, rockfish. San Francisco, California dawn yesterday had tremendous fishing out at the islands. The weather was a little bumpy, but they still caught limits of lingcod and limits of rockfish along our Southern California coast. It is predominantly deep water cod, or you stay in the shallows and catch sheephead and whitefish. It's pretty darn good. But there has been some notable exceptions, and one of those was on board the Native Son yesterday. And our dear friend, Cliff Hughes. Cliff popped his nose in the studio last night at 22nd Street Landing right before we started our show. It is always great to see Cliff. He's a great guy and an outstanding fisherman. He was on board the Native Son yesterday and not bad at all. They went 0 for 3 on the bigger yellowtail. They had to go around on some big forkies on the Native Son. Lost every single one of them in that shallow water where that structure is so darn tough. But they ended up also catching 5 halibut, which maybe is a signal about their 2026 Halibut Derby. They do that every year out of 22nd Street Landing and have some really great fishing. And there was a good bite on mixed fish, calico bass, whitefish, sheephead, bonito. They had that going on to provide plenty of action in between the halibut and, of course, also the yellowtail that they lost. So really good signal there on the Native Son. We like that. We've already mentioned the Island Tack. Elsewhere, it's mostly all scope and rockfish and that kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that. All right, here in the Southern California surf, I'll point you down to Big Fish Bait and Tack on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. Down there you can get all the bait and tackle, anything your little heart desires for not only the Southern California surf, but also offshore fishing where things are still going strong here in October. It's been pretty slow here in the surf, but our friend Jeff Perea fishing right around here at a 90-inch barred perch. It's a pretty good one for these parts here recently. Down there around Dog Beach, a few corvina, nothing wide open. A little bit of yellowfin croaker around Anderson Street, Pacific Coast Highway, and some pretty good halibut fishing up toward Long Beach, California. We also see up there in the Santa Monica Bay, perhaps the best fishing for corvina. There's some around the Topaz Rock Jetty, down by the old pier, probably best up there, El Porto, El Segundo area. That's been really, really good, as well as between the Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach piers. There's a lot of Corbina up there in the shallows and a lot of sand crabs still up there late in the year. So that's good news. El Porto's got sand crabs, and between the piers, especially right near the Hermosa and Manhattan Beach pier, we're seeing that. Lobster hoop netting, as we told you last night on our Lobster Chronicles show's been great, fantastic this year, and it was so nice to see our dear friend Susan Sosa get out and catch some bugs. You know, it was her first lobster trip, and she said she absolutely loved the experience. She wasn't sure she was going to like it as much as she did, but she absolutely loved it. And, you know, I had a similar experience. When I went on the Amigo last year, I was like, oh, you know, I've done this kind of thing before. Yeah, I'll go. And I loved it. I mean, I can't wait to do it again. And we'll put together a trip. I know that Eric, who was on board our Amigo trip and was featured in the beginning talking about blacktail hooks, I know Eric wants to do it, and so do so many others of you. So I'll put that trip together here in the very, very near future. All right, my friends, have an absolutely wonderful day. It's beautiful. It's a great Thursday, and it's so great to spend it all with you. I'll remember my coffee cup tomorrow, that's for sure, so I can toast you in proper fashion here on Friedman Adventures. And we'll be dropping our Amigo 2-day trip video in the next 48 hours. Trying to get it out this evening, but things are looking a little dubious on that. Promise to have it out to you here by the weekend. Take care, have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really